Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer Show. This is a show where we talk about stuff, play you some music, and encourage you to be creative. This season, we are exploring the art of being human. We want to say thank you to our patrons who support us each month. If you want to know more about that, visit us on patreon.com/Chasing Ebenezer. For more information about our musical endeavors, visit chasingebenezer.com. We hope you enjoy the show.
Well, welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer Show. I'm Heidi, and this is my friend Benjamin.
Oh, I'm your friend.
Yeah, you're my friend.
We're friends. This is great.
I decided after 19 years of marriage, you can be my friend.
Well, it's possible to be married and not be friends, so this is a good thing.
Yeah, well, and you were my friend first.
True.
Yeah, because I thought you were kind of boring at first.
I know you
didn't know
did.
if I could handle it, and then I found out, oh,
I'm interesting.
you're actually interesting. You're just subtle versus loud like I am. So
true.
we're going to be talking about friendship and creativity a little bit later on. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I make sure everyone knows you're my friend.
I like how you signaled that. That was really good.
I worked really hard on
Yeah.
it, really. And our patrons, a lot of patrons are our friends.
It's true.
I think you're
It's
all our
true.
friends.
If you're our patron,
You're our friend. Yeah, whether you want to be our friend or not, you get to be if you become a patron, which all of you out there could do for just $1 a month. Is our beginning tier, but there's other tiers, and you got little perks, and all of our patrons are going to be getting our digital free single soon.
Mm-hmm.
It should be out, we're hoping in the next
Sometime.
couple weeks. I know you're saying
Nope.
sometime.
We never give dates because things
I
come
didn't
up.
give them a date.
Things come up.
It's very soon.
Soon.
You're going to get that for as one of your perks. So we're excited that will be out soon. Oh, and look at you're coughing again.
I am.
Oh
I
man,
am.
we've just had it's been like a year.
I've
of
been
sinus
sick for like a
infection.
month. It's been crazy.
And we moved.
We moved.
Did you get sick on purpose?
No, I think moving just makes me sick.
That's what it is.
I think it just does.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you excited about anything?
I'm excited about my goblet of iced coffee here. Let me tell you, people, I like a good goblet.
You do. You do.
I love a good goblet. You like to put applesauce in these
I
kinds of
do.
cups.
It's my new thing. I put applesauce in goblets. It's pretty
So,
awesome.
yeah, and it's been very hot all of a sudden here in Portland.
And if you're an Oregonian, you know that the heat means something.
Well, because we didn't have any time
No.
to get used to it. It was
it was
freezing.
raining and cold, and then all of a sudden, it's
Bam!
Death Valley.
Yeah, yes. And we also like to wine.
I do.
So
I really
we love
like
an
to wine.
opportunity to wine. So I'm excited about iced coffee.
All right.
Yeah, I little things,
Little
man.
things. Little things.
Do you have something bigger than a goblet of iced coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am.
You can.
I'm excited about the sequel to Dune
Oh, when does it come out?
this summer.
Oh,
It's coming
soon.
out
Is
soon.
it coming out
It's coming out
soon?
soon. I'm excited about. Oh, man, I just keep coughing.
It's okay.
Sorry.
You're just trying to gain sympathy from
I am.
everyone.
I am. We're just not cutting it. It's just. I'm also excited because my favorite band is releasing an album this month. Dave Matthews comes out with a new album this month.
Oh, they didn't ask me to play on it.
I know.
They must
I
have
know.
forgotten.
Sometime they will. But
Soon. Dave Matthews
That's our word for the day.
Play
Soon.
fiddle.
Yeah, no, I'm excited
cool.
about that coming out.
That's
And
awesome.
it's always fun because it feels like the artists that I really like, they tend to release their albums around the same time. So like Dave Matthews is releasing a new album. Ben Harper's releasing a new album. Again, he just released one last year, but
Here's a goblet
it's gonna be
to you,
wonderful.
Ben.
So I'm excited for music this summer. I really am.
Great. I also am excited because our friend Jeff gave us an accordion.
Oh yeah.
That I have no idea how to really play it, but I've wanted one for a long time.
Honestly, if you just wear it, you look legit. Or like a spectacle. One or both.
I do well looking like a spectacle, so.
Oh man, one of my favorite moments involves an accordion in my musical career. We were playing a show at the White Eagle, and we were
yeah.
done playing, and me and Ryan are hanging out in the back near the soundboard. And the next band, who we didn't see, was telling the sound person their needs. It's like, oh, we're going to be about 3-ish accordions. And me and Ryan looked at each other like, huh?
That's a lot of accordions.
And we were like, that's going to be interesting or weird or both. And the next thing we notice is the accordion player from
Jenny
the
Conley is
Decemberists
like, "What?"
gets up. And at that point, it was like, this was the best decision ever.
Oh, it was, they're
They were-
amazing.
oh, so cool.
And she's just
So
incredible.
cool.
So,
Yeah.
accordion players out there, you inspire us. And hopefully one day I will be able to play it and not
Someday.
have it sound like a train wreck. So thank you, Jeff, for
Thank you.
bringing that accordion to us.
So my humanity, there's, you know, obviously I've been feeling my humanity by being sick. I mean,
Been sick a lot.
constantly. It's been nonstop. So yeah, I feel very weak today. I feel very tired.
I'm
but
so sorry.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I haven't been sleeping that great with the heat. But the other thing, and I've been noticing this for a while, and this is a little more funny. I've been feeling my humanity and my age because now I am shaving my ears.
And you wanted to share that with all of us.
I did. Because we're really real here on the Chasing Ebenezer Show. So as part of my ritual on occasion, I do shave my
You
head.
missed a spot, right?
I didn't get the middle. I'm not talking about the middle. I'm talking about the tops.
Well, you didn't ask your friend to help here.
So you know, when you're younger, you don't tend to shave your ears. You don't tend to shave when you're younger.
Unless you're you.
Unless you're me. I was 13 when I
Been
started
shaving
shaving.
for a long time.
Yeah, I have. So that's me.
Oh, thank you for sharing that with
Total
us.
honesty here.
Ah.
I dedicate my ear hairs to you.
Oh, please don't. Please don't. Well, yeah, humanity speaking, I think it was interesting. It was Mother's Day this past weekend, and so my mom has been gone 3 years, and so it was kind of an interesting weekend, but I think this year I felt more joy than sadness for her being in heaven and just her just not having to have so many physical issues anymore. So kind of that complex journey of grief. Because then if you're not feeling so much sorrow, then it's like, oh, am I a bad person? Am I? But it was just like the third year in, it was like, oh, I'm feeling more joy for her than like sorrow for me. So it's just kind of weird. But I felt so grateful this year because, sorry, there's a beetle thing flying around in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not just looking at the ceiling for fun. When we moved, there was about 7 to 8 ladies from our church who can help me clean. And
Thank you,
oh my gosh,
for that
and
so much.
If you've ever moved, you know how gross that last is. You're moving furniture and you're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm a disgusting pig. And so I knew they were, and I'm just not a good cleaner anyway. I'm already a messy person. So having these just women come and see my mess, it was so difficult, and I felt so much shame. But it was like, well, this is where I'm at right now. And so having these beautiful friends to come see like that grossness, but this is me. This is who I am. This is where I'm at. And so I just really appreciate people, and I appreciate their love, and we got moved out by the time our lease date was over. So, it was such a relief. So thank you, ladies. You know who you are out there. So thank you.
Yeah. So today's episode, in our continual exploration of humanity, is a very essential part to humanity, and that is having friends.
That is the sound of a freshly iced coffee.
Did you make a second one?
No, I just added more ice.
Oh, you just added more ice. Okay. I might have to have one before the show's over.
What a beautiful sound. I'm not derailed at all.
No? So, having
I derailed you.
Speaking of friends. Having friends as a kid. What was it like for you?
I had a hard time as a kid making friends, and I don't know that I was a very good friend either. So I just had a really hard time. I feel like I'm always been a little bit weird, and then yeah, you look away. So, those of us who are very strange don't know often how to make friends or be a friend. So, but I'm so grateful. The friend I've had the longest is Emily, well, she's not McIntosh anymore, Emily Sharif. She moved in across the street from me. Have I told the story about...
I don't think you have.
Okay. So... So, this was in the 80s, okay? And so we were very uninformed and very... So, anyway, we were about 6.
Okay.
And Emily, this is in Gig Harbor, Washington, which is a beautiful place. And so, Emily and her family moved in across the street from me. And I think the first day I spent at her house, we were talking about, like, our dads, I think what they did for work, and she told me her dad was a nurse. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I informed her that she was not correct. Because men couldn't be nurses! Oh my, no. Can you believe this? And I had just never met a male nurse. And so my ignorance was that since I had never met one, her dad was not a nurse. And I just kept debating it with her. And so I went home and told my mom how wrong Emily was, that she told me that her dad was a nurse and what was wrong. And my mother, thank goodness, my mother...
Let you know you were wrong?
Me know how wrong I was, and you're gonna march right back across the street, and you're gonna go to apologize to her. Her dad is a nurse. The camera just clicked out for a second, and we had to fix it. So picking up, I was saying once again, thank you to all the male nurses out there. You're amazing, and just glad that I am well informed now.
I'm glad you're well informed too.
About that until I make another mistake and find out how wrong I am. So,
yeah. Well, thinking about friends as kids, when we're kids, our parents like arrange play dates. Like our friends are very often the kids of our parents. The friends. They become our friends because our parents are friends with one another, or we're the same age, right?
Doesn't take a whole lot. You're the same age. You're gonna be your friends often.
So I went through like a period like where I was like friends just because my parents had friends, or we went over to someone's house and they had a neighbor kid that I can go play with. My mom hung out with her friend. But when I was in 3rd grade, this is like when I think of friendship, I think of my friend Chris Miller. 3rd grade. We were on the playground and he was just playing by himself. He was doing some like imaginary game in his head, and I started playing with him. This is about as best as a 3rd grader remembers this. And he and I became best friends, like over some imaginary game that I don't even remember. And we hung out in school all the time. We had sleepovers at each other's houses. We were friends from like 3rd grade into 9th grade. And it was all based on creativity, his creativity. Cool. So that was really, really cool. I think as kids, it's easier to become friends because your friendship is based on play. A lot of it is based on play. It's not based on, a lot of times when we become friends as adults, it's like...
Yeah, it's shared interests.
Completely different.
It's much more complicated. I think that we become more insecure and also more judgmental as we become older, so we begin to not be quite so accepting and I had a really hard time as a teenager and as a young adult finding friends, and it was just really difficult for me. I don't know, probably some of it's probably because I was a third culture kid, so then when I came back to the United States, already being weird, and then when you're a cross-cultural kid, you have trouble finding your place in the world, and
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, it almost feels like once you even hit junior high,
it's so
it
difficult.
changes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because like all of a sudden now it's your friends based on a certain group of people, even like to like the type of clothes you wear or the type of activities you like, and that differentiation just kind of happens more and more and more into adulthood. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just depending on where you grow up in the world too, just culturally in this country we're just so separated, and yet in many other cultures people kind of just are more more neighborhood communities. There's more walking, there's more interaction with neighbors. So yeah, it's just very hard, I think, as adults to maintain friendships, and just schedule wise we're overworked.
Yep.
We're so, everyone has a different schedule. It's all crazy. So to spend time with people and try to figure out schedules is just so difficult. So if you're not already in like a church group or a club or a group that routinely sees each other,
A band,
yeah, it's just difficult. So yeah, it becomes more challenging, I think, the older you get. So it seems like you have to work harder or more creatively, more how can we make this happen? How can we make this a priority?
what are some things about having friends as an adult that in some ways are richer than when you had friends as kids?
Well, I think that a lot of the friends that I have, they've seen the worst side of me, maybe not the worst. That's for you. You're my best friend, so you get to see the worstest.
I don't think worst, the most authentic
Oh
side.
yeah.
Is that a better way to say it?
But I think as if you have friends that you've had over time, you probably had disagreements. You probably, seen that you're not always the same. And so those things over time, they become tested, and you have learned to love and be together even though it's not perfect. And that is just such a value, being loved and giving love in spite of imperfections. That's just so good. And I think that for people like, well, you're definitely an introvert.
Yes.
I kind of just, it depends. I think most people think I'm an extrovert when they meet me because I'm so loud. But then I also need this, I need lots of alone time too. Part of it's because if you're in the arts, you need a lot of time alone to create your things.
Yep.
But then when you're alone too much, though, you can be your own worst companion. So I think even though there are times when your temptation is to be alone, a lot of times being with people is what helps you to not be depressed, helps you not be stagnate. Like, it's just so important. Kind of like the temptation, like, I don't want to exercise, I just want to stay home, blah. But then when you do it, you're like,
feel
oh,
better.
how could I not have had this? So people are just, at the end of the day, people are so important. And
yeah. Well, but it does, I think you said something that's really important.
What did I say?
Is that I think having friendship as an adult does require a level of discipline and sacrifice.
Because, it can be easy to withdraw, especially like we saw that with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Social anxiety, I think we all know, has probably gone up because we were so used then to not being with people that we kind of forget how to be with people. I've always been awkward, but then, it's got even more awkward. You just kind of forget, and you atrophy in social skills, and
yeah.
But I think making the decision to be with people is so important because we need each other.
One thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is that in some ways being a friend is a spiritual practice. Like, you have to practice the spiritual discipline of being a friend, which means that I have to take time to get out of my own little world enter into somebody else's. That whether that's through a phone call, whether that's through something as simple as a text. Some people are really natural at this. I'm not. Like, I have to get out of my head and do that. But it's so rewarding. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've had like a social event that we're going to, and because I'm feeling introverted, I'm like, no, I just want to be in bed with my cat. I'm never too introverted for my cat. That's just a fact.
She doesn't always want to be with you.
That's beside the point. But like, there's that dread of having to go. But then the second that I'm there, all of a sudden I'm out of my head. And even better, having friends actually helps your marriage. Let me tell you why.
Does it now?
Because I can't tell you how many times we've gotten in a fight on the way to a social gathering.
Never.
And we're in this vortex of, and then we're around people that aren't us for a few minutes, and all of a sudden we're like, I'm sorry, I love you, we're friends again. It's so, but it does take that getting out of yourself to kind of do it. So I do think that's one of the things that makes it harder. I was thinking about this too, is that being a friend as an adult, you know, when you're a kid, you're kind of make-believe, you're creating reality, or you're experiencing reality with another person and your brain's developing. When you become friends as an adult, you've lived a lot. And so you're bringing this sense of yourself into a relationship and sharing that versus
kind of growing up together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So-
that totally makes sense.
So I think that there's a richness there, because my real friends are the ones that I can be really vulnerable with about the things that are going on with my life. So.
But that takes being known.
Yeah.
And it's like, we want to be known, but only like certain parts of us.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like not my messy house. I don't want anyone to see that. But...
Photoshop my life. Photoshop it and show it to the world.
Yeah. So I think it does. It to truly be known requires sacrifice of ego and pride and this idea of ourselves. And sometimes we have an overestimated, like inflated self, and then sometimes we have a low, and we can have both at the same time. So we need other people to help us see our lives and ourselves for who we are, and with love and kindness. And yeah, we watched that movie, The Banshees of Inisherin, which oh my goodness, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's so good, but it's painful.
It's very painful. It's
so
very
good,
like
though.
John Steinbeck type of, and it's about like the struggle of friendship as adults.
Yeah.
And how painful and crazy and bizarre it can be. I don't even,
I'm still processing it.
Yeah, if you're not in for nitty gritty, then don't watch it. But just kind of seeing, being reminded of how hard it can be as an adult to be friends and maintain it, and to even understand our own selves is just really, really hard. So,
Yeah.
yep.
How does friendship, do you think, affect our creativity as people?
Well, I think if you have friends who create in similar arenas, then it's so valuable to have kind of a like-minded group of people who can kind of encourage each other and work on projects together. On the opposite side, I think having friends who are different than you are so important as well, because you can get so bogged down in your art or your vision or your thing that you forget to be challenged, or you can forget, there's these other parts of the world out there that exist as well. And so I think having friends who both are similarly creative is important, and then having friends who are maybe creative in a different way, or maybe their focus is more on, I don't know, smart, intellectual, math, science, anything that I'm not good at.
People who are mathematic.
No, they can be creative too. That's not what I meant. I'm saying there are different. It's important to be a well-rounded person. And so there you go.
And none of us is well-rounded by ourselves. We need other people.
No, yeah. I think everyone is creative.
Yes.
It just is not all the same.
I know what you meant.
Well, being that I thought that only women could be nurses at one point in my life, I know that I can communicate very poorly.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think that having friends as a creative helps you be more creative because it gets you out of your own little world. And you get to experience life through somebody else's eyes, which is such a wonderful thing. And I'd encourage you, next time you prompt, next time you're hanging out with your friends, you know, rather than just focusing so much on sharing about yourself, really listen to them when they're sharing and try to pick up on what they're feeling and what they're experiencing and pay attention to how it's different from you. Just don't stare at them while they're sharing. And, you know, don't blink because that tends to make people clam up.
Wait, blinking?
When
like
you
this?
if I'm sharing
or like this?
Blinking,
Blinking,
that
or
I just got
staring?
stressed.
Which
yeah,
one?
that.
Oh, sorry. Oh, like not blinking.
Yeah.
You're like staring at someone not blinking?
Yeah, it
But
can,
then what about this?
Well,
So moderate blinking.
Moderate blinking.
Moderate blinking.
Moderate blinking. That's your prompt. Listen with moderate blinking.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Do you have any other prompts that you could think of?
Yeah, I maybe read a book or watch a movie about, maybe you could do one or the other, like about a group of friends, or maybe someone who doesn't have friends, or just, you know, kind of look at your own life. Okay, where am I being a good friend? Where am I maybe need to reach out and be a more active friend? And yeah, it's just kind of good to know. And oh shoot, I was forgetting.
I got a couple more.
Okay, go ahead.
So there's different types of friendship things, right?
yes.
There's the kind of friend that you go and have coffee or beer with and just share your life and soul with. And then there's friends that you just go and do activities with. And sometimes we can gravitate towards one or the other. Like I, by nature, am more of a conversation person. And let's bare our souls to one another versus let's go do an activity. In fact, most activities I like to do by myself. If that's you, do the opposite. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Hang out
Okay.
with a friend and go do an activity.
Yeah,
if you're
that's
more
nice.
of less of a conversation person, and if you're more of an activity person, find that introverted friend and go have a cup of coffee, beer, whatever with them. Soda.
And should you bring interview cards?
Only if you want it to be weird. Maybe write the interview cards and memorize them before you go into the conversation and don't tell them.
Benjamin, tell me, these days, what's really, really interesting? Yeah, don't do that, okay?
I think I need to go take a nap. now.
Okay, well,
No,
so
I'm
sorry.
kidding.
So sorry. Yeah, maybe create something for a friend.
Yeah.
Or inspired by a friend. Oh, man,
That's a
that
good
beetle thingy buzzing around is really...
Yeah, our new place has
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
if you
beetles
can hear
in
it or not, but I'm like, sorry, I keep looking away, being distracted.
It's all good. So the song we're going to do is an instrumental song. It's kind of...
It just felt like you were doing... I wanted to gesture with my hand, like, we're presenting
it to you. I made a music...
Awkward kid here.
I made a music video, and I played all the instruments by myself with this song. And so now I think we should try to do it live and have the violin to it.
Because I'm your friend.
Because you're my friend, and it might make the song sound even better.
Probably not, but thank you for including me in it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, well, hey, we love you, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, I just spilled, but thank you for being our friends. We love you.